Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the Dirty Old Cold Garage. And today's video is kind of an offshoot of a question that I asked over on an Instagram reel last week. I asked, what's a band that got away? One that you didn't get to see live. And it got me thinking, there's quite a few of them. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 5 bands that I never got a chance to see live. And there's plenty more, of course. But I'm going to limit it to bands that have been touring after 1988, because that's when I started going to concerts in 88. So like the Beatles or Zeppelin, they're not going to be on this list because I realistically did not have a chance to see them. But these other ones I have had chances to, and just for some reason or another, I didn't get to see them. So before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe and all that stuff, and head over to Instagram and join me over there because I ask these daily questions over there. And it's always fun, unless you get into the songs that didn't age well reels. Those comment sections are cesspools. So, yeah. Now, up first is a band that technically I didn't have the opportunity to see, but I was supposed to see them. And it's Nirvana. Like, there was not like a specific show that I was supposed to go to, and I didn't get to go to it. But Nirvana was supposed to headline Lollapalooza in 1994, right? And obviously that didn't happen. So I never got a chance to see them, even though I should have. And I would have vastly preferred them headlining over Smashing Pumpkins, that show made me not be a fan of them anymore. The one good thing about Nirvana not being on that bill was it opened up a slot at the bottom for another band to jump on, and that band was Green Day. So I got to see Green Day on the Dookie Tour in 1994 in Atlanta, 2 days before they played Woodstock 94. In fact, it was their last show before they played Woodstock 94 and blew up. So that's cool. But I've seen Green Day since, and I still obviously never saw Nirvana. But, I mean, I've seen Dave Grohl with the Foo Fighters, but that's not quite the same thing. Number 4 is Iron Maiden. Now, technically, I can still go see them. I still have a chance to see them. They're basically the only band on this list that I still have a chance to see. But for some reason, every time they've been within a state of me, I couldn't make it. Because I don't know if they've played my state since the 80s. I'm not sure. I mean, I could be wrong about that. But, yeah. I still would. They're one of those huge bands from the 80s that I would still love to see. And hopefully I'll get a chance at some point soon. Because, come on. Like Iron Maiden. And here's another one that's a bonus one. Judas Priest. Haven't seen them, but I would still love to. Number 3, I can still see, but it's not the same. And it's AC/DC. Yes, you still have Brian Johnson and you still have Angus Young, but you don't have Malcolm Young anymore. And that's kind of a big part of the AC/DC sound. Let's just be real. So, yes, I can see them, but is it really the same? And of course, they're getting, like us all, they're getting up there in age. So is it the same? Have you seen AC/DC or Maiden recently? And is it still, is it still worth it, basically? Like, I don't want to just go see AC/DC to say I've seen AC/DC. I still want it to be a badass show. Is it? Let me know. Number 2 is my favorite band from the grunge era. And I still hate that I haven't seen them. Like, I know they've played a state over from me. And I could have gone. I had an opportunity to see them, but it'll never happen again, is Soundgarden. Obviously, with Chris Cornell's death, you're not going to see Soundgarden anymore. I don't think they're going to pull a Linkin Park and replace him or, anything like that. How the hell do you replace Chris Cornell and Soundgarden? But yeah, they were my favorite of the grunge bands, the early 90s grunge bands. Bad Motorfinger was my first album that I had by him, and I loved it. Obviously, Super Unknown, all that stuff was awesome. And then he went and did Audioslave, never got a chance to see that. So I never saw Chris Cornell. That kind of sucks because I would have loved to have seen them. But the number one band that I hate that I never got to see was Van Halen. I like Van Halen. I wouldn't say I'm like a mega huge Van Halen fan, but I like Van Halen. I like Van Hagar. But of course, with Eddie Van Halen passing away, that ship has sailed. You know, I could have gone to see him on the Different Kind of Truth tour with Wolfgang. But once again, I want to see the four of them together. I want to see Michael Anthony up there. I've never seen Sammy Hagar. Never seen Michael Anthony. I have seen David Lee Roth. He opened up for Kiss on their End of the Road tour. And I've told the story before, but David Lee Roth was awful. Like, he was just completely terrible. But in the best possible way. It was hilarious how bad he was, and he just loved it. Like, he was into it. He, doing his dances and I loved his performance. I don't think I've laughed as hard at a major performance than I did when I saw David Lee Roth, and that's the closest, unfortunately, that I'm going to get to Van Halen, which sucks. But hey, it is what it is. There's a bunch that I've missed, but there's a hell of a lot more that I have seen, and I'll do that in a video later on, talking about, some of the cool ones that I did get a chance to see, because I've been lucky enough to see a lot of bands in my time, and there's always just those ones that got away. So, who's the one that got away for you? Which one got away from you? Over on Instagram, in the Reels comment, people they got a lot of sad mentions of bands that they didn't get a chance to see. And it's just fascinating. Just that whole discourse, just talking about it is fascinating to me, and I love it. So, join me over there, Instagram, @Side4Music. And once again, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you next time. Stay fresh, cheese bags.